ready, so he grabs a fistful of notes in his pocket and throws them all into the air. He then uses the power of wind to send them directly towards the cursed doll. But to his surprise, the doll reacts right away and uses its hair to tear all the notes. With a strong slash of its hair, it hits all the martins at once, leaving them beaten and battered on the ground. Minato immediately worries for them, but the martins ask him to watch out. Before he can react, the cursed doll grabs his body with its hair, completely trapping him and tightening its grip, making it difficult to breathe. Minato can't possibly escape from this, and he knows that if this can be done right here. In a desperate attempt, he asks Yamagami for help, and a few seconds later, he hears the voice of the martins, who ask him to pull himself together because they're here for him. The three of them use their divine power, and Yamagami supports them from the sacred martin back home, howling to lend some of his power to them. With this powerful divine power, the cursed doll finally falls, releasing Minato right away. Minato doesn't waste any time and approaches the doll, which can barely move anymore. He pulls out his pen before drawing a line on the doll, saying that it must have been a heart. As soon as he makes that line, the evil spirit leaves the doll, so it's now finally free of the impurity. Now that it's all over, Minato asks them if Yamagami was the one howling earlier, since he's pretty sure he heard it. Truly confirms this and explains that Yamagami sent the power of the Lord, which is really cool. Despite how well that went, they warned him that not everything has been exercised yet, so they must be careful to keep the word. Keeping this in mind, Minato cautiously enters the cult and sees the actual cause of all this, a former mountain god completely possessed by impurity. Siri mentions that it seems to be in pain, and Tarifa clarifies that the case is closed once he purifies this. Minato decides to help the former mountain god, but when he searches into his pocket, he realizes that he's used up all his notes. He's not done yet though, so he pulls out his notepad to quickly write multiple words to banish all evil and purify the former god. Once that's done, he brings the notes with his handwriting closer to it, but to his surprise, he realizes that he can't exercise it. He already used all his notes, so Siri asks him if there's anything else he can write on. Minato thinks about it and tries to search for something, but just then, the whole place begins to shake, and they all realize that the other world is starting to break. Like always, Utsuki clings to him in fear and asks him to think of something quick. When they hear the loud sound of debris falling, Utsuki panics and gets into Minato's hoodie, but that's when he sees the leaf of the sacred tree. He immediately informs Minato about it, and he assumes that the leaves of the cushion of the tree must have power because it's a sacred tree after all. With this in mind, he decides to try writing something, though doing so in the small leaf is no easy task. He feels like he's about to collapse already because he's written down a whole lot since he got here. Even so, he's determined to see this through, so he gives it a try and writes Kusunoki on the tree leaf. With this sacred power, he manages to exorcise the powerful evil spirit, leaving the sphere of the former mountain god. The place is still falling apart though, and they're running out of time, so Minato grabs the sphere and runs away from the place with the martins as fast as they can. Meanwhile, Rima and the others observe the place collapsing from outside, which makes him feel really concerned. Minato is still inside, so Harima tries to go save him without thinking, but Shiori immediately stops him, saying that they'll get sucked in too. Hitatsu agrees with her and tells Harima that they can't go there now, so there's nothing they can do. Minato offers his head to protect himself. This will disappear alongside this other. After hearing the alarming news, Minato pushes his pace, running as fast as he can, because the basic suddenly just then, the power of lightning and wind saved him, cutting the tree in half and creating a crack in the ground, making them all fall through it. When Minato wakes up, he realizes that he and the martins are out of the other world, though they don't understand how. Fujin and Raijin show up just then, telling Minato that he's really high maintenance. Fujin reminds him that he did say that he'd be strong enough to leave the house if someone wants to break it too. That's what he did back. If he left that, they would still be trapped in the other world. Minato agrees with a smile, saying that he has no intention of being still as a longer. Ryuma immediately takes Minato to an ancient dragon, saying that he owes him nothing, though Minato just tells him that he's glad he can be of help. Even so, Harima gives him a gift and asks him to his gratitude to the gods as well. Minato thanks him for his kindness and asks him if he'd like to have a barbecue with them. Harima quickly declines, saying that he's in a hurry, so he'll have to pass. Once he leaves, Minato and the others enjoy a barbecue themselves, though Yamagami sticks to the sweets he usually eats. He enjoys the flavor of the buns and says that sweet bean paste takes the crown with buns any day. Minato informs them that Harima gave them sweets, and while Yamagami is clearly interested, Utsuki leaves first and leaves the barbecue to go for the sweets. The others scold him for leaving like that, asking him to finish his food first before eating any sweets. Minato takes care of the barbecue now, and while Fujin and Raijin enjoy the hot spring, he decides to bring them some cold sake. As he serves them both, Akira shyly comes out of the bushes, so Minato cheerfully tells him that he has beer for him, so he can join them him if he wants. Kieran cheers up at that and decides to give him another exotic fruit. Though as soon as he sees the durian, Reiki immediately kicks it away and asks him not to bring trash into the sacred garden. Kieran speaks up loudly this time, saying that it's not trash, but a respectable piece of fruit called durian. Reiki tells him that his nose must not be functioning properly because that thing is way too stinky. Oryu joins the fight, wanting the stinky fruit away from the garden, but Kieran stubbornly insists. While they banter, Minato takes a moment to observe the Kusunoki tree, thanking him for the help. The Martins then inform him that the sphere is changing, and when Minato approaches it, the sphere suddenly transforms into a small chip, which is the last of the four spirits, Oa. Now that the four holy beasts live in his garden, things haven't really changed much for Minato, who keeps writing his shopping lists as talismans against evil. Meanwhile, Yamagami enjoys his strawberry daifukus, saying that they have a very plump and juicy flesh. He mentions that this collaboration of smooth bean pastes and strawberries is indulgent, so he really enjoys it. While they do their things, Minato notices that a bunch of birds are surrounding Hoa, so Yamagami explains that it's his outdoor classroom, and he's teaching Japanese bushwalkers how to chirp. Minato doesn't really understand it, but he's happy to see that Hoa is so popular, since he's always surrounded by everyone, and the garden is more lively now. Everyone relaxes in the garden, and Minato can tell that spring has come due to how peaceful everything is. However, as they enjoy the day, a strange portal opens in the sky without them noticing. Meanwhile, Karima and Kotetsu get rid of evil spirits in an area infested by them. Despite how many they eliminate, more evil spirits keep showing up, and they're completely surrounded. Kotetsu mentions that they usually call this the Spring Evil Spirit Fest because there's so many of them, and it really chips away at their spiritual powers. Even so, Kotetsu still thinks that these are just small fries, so he decides to take care of the situation and summons his familiars, a shark and a penguin that eat evil spirits. Soon, all the evil spirits in the area are exterminated by them, and while the penguin can't eat any more evil spirits, the shark feels like it didn't have enough. Kotetsu reassures him and says that there will be more next time, so it doesn't have to worry. Harima receives a message just then, letting him know that there's another evil spirit nearby, so he leaves right away without a word. In the meantime, Minato exits a store after buying souvenirs for everyone, but as soon as he steps outside, the people around start calling him the Bird Whisperer. That's when Minato realizes that he's actually surrounded by birds, and it's all because of Hoa, who's with him. He's become quite famous in town because of that, and people even take photos of him as he walks by. Minato tells Hoa that this always happens when they go out together, though he doesn't really mind. As he walks home, he runs into the gardener, who's doing a clay figure-shaped hedge for a client, and names it specimen number 25. Minato hears him talking to himself and decides to approach him, saying that his work is looking nice, and he almost wants to call it Mr. 25. He mentions that it's a rather avant-garde hedge, and the gardener explains that the owner of this house told him he could do whatever he wants with it. After all, he's been on a roll since he worked on his garden, and his shoulder hasn't given him more problems. The gardener notices the bunch of birds standing on the hedge all of a sudden, but Minato plays dumb and quickly escapes the situation. Meanwhile, the Martins approach Yamagami in panic, saying that they've got a problem because there's a bunch of abandoned kami realms in the mountain, and Minato hasn't come back from shopping. Yamagami asks them not to panic and tells them that it must be too many for them to handle, so he will take care of it. The Martins are kind of shocked that the Yamagami himself will take care of it, so they quickly follow his lead. After a while, Minato suddenly notices that the birds are gone, which makes him wonder if something happened. Just then, Fujin and Raijin show up and tell him that he has to go home as soon as possible. They inform him that there's an outbreak of abandoned kami realms and evil spirits today, though Minato doesn't know exactly what that means. Fujin explains that there are millions of kami in this world, and even more kami realms, or sacred grounds. Raijin mentions that some kami realms end up abandoned by their creator, though. Just then, a portal opens in the sky, so Raijin uses his power of lightning to quickly destroy it. Fujin tells Minato that the portal he saw just now was an abandoned kami realm, and Raijin explains that a portal to it can be anywhere. It could be on the ground, in the air, or even in the water, and it moves around, which is problematic. Humans could get pulled in every now and then, and that's called being spirited away. Minato now understands why the birds didn't follow them anymore, though Fujin tells him that he seems awfully relaxed about it, and he should be the most vigilant here. After all, his affinity with kami is extremely high, and it's because he not only lives in the sacred ground, but he also bathes in Yamagami's hot spring. Raijin warns him that if he gets pulled into a nasty kami realm, he won't be able to get out by himself, so he must be careful. Before leaving, Fujin informs him that Yamagami has also set out to destroy the abandoned kami realms, so he has to get there soon. When Minato hears that Yamagami himself has set out to take care of the matter, he realizes that this is really serious, so he decides to take a shortcut to get home as soon as possible. In the meantime, Yamagami notices that several abandoned kami realms appear in the sky. They're spreading toward Minato's house, which means they must banish it all right here. The Martins quickly split up to help him do the job, and Yamagami jumps right at one of the abandoned kami realms to destroy it. Since Minato is taking a shortcut, he notices the deplorable state of the shrine and all its alleyways. The place looks really run down, so he stops for a moment to look at it. But that's when a voice suddenly whispers in his ear, saying that he needs to stay away. Minato is a little surprised by this, but cares more about where that voice That's how they should try. He goes back to normal after a second though, and both him and Minato are pulled in by the portal. Minato checks that Ho is okay and then stands up, noticing that he's in a green forest. He doesn't know where he is, but he's pretty sure it feels like he's stepping into a so he just assumes that it's empty. He notices that it's kind of hard to breathe as well, so they must find the exit quickly. As he walks through the place, Minato sees several wooden boxes thrown across the ground. There are too many of them, so he remembers what Yamagami said before. He explained that kami realms reflect the minds of their creators, and it's a replica of the space they find most comfortable. Minato just assumes that this creator must really love wooden boxes, and he doesn't give it much thought. After a while walking, he enters a strange cave, though the air becomes even worse in here. Despite this, he continues walking until he finds a woman sleeping on the ground. Minato assumes that she's the god who created this kami realm, but before he can say anything, the goddess wakes up only to complain about the dreary air, saying that it's so muggy she can't even sleep. She knows it needs to be ventilated, but she doesn't want to bother to do anything about it because she doesn't want to move, and she just wants to sleep all day long. While she's in the middle of her turmoil, Minato decides to speak, asking her if she's the creator of this kami realm. The goddess confirms it, though she's a little confused to see a human in her realm. She recognizes Ho-Oh, and notices that Minato seems to have a whole lot of protection, though she doesn't understand why he's here, since she didn't summon him. Since Minato doesn't know the answer himself, she assumes that he's lost, though she still thinks it's strange, because the portal should have been completely closed. Minato explains that a lot of portals to the abandoned kami realms are appearing in the outside world. The goddess feels a little offended by his comment, so she clarifies that she didn't abandon this realm. For a moment, she fears that her power got weaker, and Minato mentions that the shrine he saw on the way here seemed rather run down. The goddess sees the state of the shrine herself, and confirms that he's saying the truth, though she doesn't know when that happened, or how many moons it's been. She quickly leaves that aside and tells Minato that he's connected with Fujin, because she can sense that he has his power. Minato is kind of surprised that she can tell, but the goddess is more surprised to know that a shrewd character like Fujin gave his power to a human, no less. With this in mind, she decides to take advantage of the situation and tells Minato that she has a favor to ask. The goddess explains that she wants him to use Fujin's power and ventilate this place. After all, the air here is stale, and it's really hard to breathe, even for her. Minato tells her that he can try if it's something he can do, and the goddess wonders when the last time this place was ventilated was. After thinking for a bit, she mentions that in human time, people were talking about stopping envoys to the Tang dynasty. Minato quickly realizes that it's been over 1,000 years, in that case, though the goddess isn't even aware, because humans come and go so fast that she can't even remember their names. Without thinking too much about it, she lies back down to sleep and wishes him luck, saying that she's counting on him. Minato quickly asks her if she'll help him get out of here, and he's
Maybe the last day my tears might let me go. All is coming closer. All is coming closer. All is coming closer.
She opens the small curtain and asks him to shut all the wooden boxes in the area in there while Minato has no problem with it. So while she
I got a condo in Manhattan. Baby girl, what's happening? You and your ass invited, so go and get to clapping. Go pop it for me, pop it for me. Turn around and drop it for a plan. Drop it for me. I'll rent a beach house in Miami. Wake up with no jammies. Lobster tail for dinner.
I've tried.
Julio, so that's heavy. You got it if you want it. Got it if you want it. Said
I've
you
tried,
got it if you want it. Take my wallet if you want it now. Jump in the Cadillac. Girl, let's put some miles on it. Anything you want, just to put a smile on it. You deserve it, baby, you deserve it all. And I'm gonna give it to you. Gold jewelry shining so bright. Strawberry champagne on us. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Set by the fire at night. Silk sheets and diamonds, all white. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. I'm talking trips to Puerto Rico. Say the word and we go. You can be my flica. Girl, I'll be a flica, mama. I will never make a promise that I can't keep. I promise that your smile ain't gonna never leave. Shopping sprees in Paris. Everything 24 carats. Take a look in that mirror. Now tell me who's the fairest. Is it you? Is it me? You say it's us, then I'll agree, baby. Jump in the Cadillac, girl, let's put some miles on it. Anything you want, just to put a smile on it. You deserve it, baby, you deserve it all. And I'm gonna give it to you. Gold jewelry shining so bright. Strawberry champagne on us. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Search by the fire all night. Silk sheets and diamonds all white. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like. You say you want a good time. But here I am, baby. Here I am, baby. Talk to me, say you tell me. That's on your mind. If you want it, you come and get it. All this is here for you. Tell me, baby. Tell me, baby. What you trying to do? Oh, baby, shining bright. Oh, baby, shining on. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's what I like.